Okay, so let's talk about scheduling. So in the world of building, it's pretty easy to schedule 1 week out or 2 weeks out, even 3 weeks out. But when homes expand in size and scope and details, we need to have a wide lens, which means 12 months from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And we need to have a myopic lens, which is on the daily, action items on the daily. And so a real pro move is to merge the two. And I just want to share how we practice this within our company, our projects, and with our clients. So you can see I'm on a job here, and behind me is what we call zone mapping. And so this is the actual house, and the house is mapped out with color codes. So imagine each of these sections, we treat them as their own little world, right? The red section, the orange section, blue section, yellow, green, pink, blue, purple. These are all sections of the home. Now, in the very beginning, when we pour foundation, we're working everywhere. When the framers are working, we're just going vertical. When electricians, plumbers, HVAC, all mechanicals are working, they're generally working throughout the whole house. So there's a flow of moving through the whole house. And so the way we show that or express that would be, hey, electricians, they're really color-coded everywhere within these few weeks. And that's very common because we move from one room to the next. Now, as we approach drywall and after drywall, this is where zoning becomes really, really important because the builders are actually setting the tone and planning the work in coordination with the trades and the vendors. What can happen in construction is the trades and vendors are telling the builder what they can do. And so in my career, what I've learned is to call timeout on that. We think through the work. We plan through the work. We strategize how to position people and work. We guide, we lead, and we set up that leadership way in advance, which is early on. We're in a frame right now. So to walk you through our practice, it looks like this. Each zone has an entry point. All right, so that means we can have people go in and out of the house and they have their own entry points. So right here we have an entry point, which is a door into the blue section. We have an entry point into the green section, which then pours us into the pink section. We also have an entry point into this sort of purple section. And if it really gets down to it, we can climb through windows, right? We can make our way. But the point here in zoning is to make sure we have an entry point so that if at any point in time we can't get in this section, we have another entry point to work in this room, okay? So entry point here as well, an entry point here. So again, we are fully responsible and plan for in advance where we can enter a project, where we can work in a project, and we need to lead that. We need to tell people in trades, like, this is our strategy. This is what we're planning to do. And I'll get into that. Second floor is, you really have two main entry points, and it's basically the stairs. Stairs here and the stairs here. So you can see we really only have two zones upstairs. If we really wanted to put a ladder on the terrace, we would put a ladder and then enter the house. So that's the first step, really establishing zones of work and how to access those zones if another zone is cut off. Now, when we get into trim carpenters, cabinetry, tile, any of these specific items, they take longer to install. And that's where this is really, really, really important. So for example, if we want to install cabinets in our kitchen, we're going to be taking over this space. But guess what? We can have tile folks working in other areas. So we don't want to just have cabinetry people owning the whole house, because that will take forever to build this house. What we want to do is position cabinetry, door jambs being installed, tile prep for the floors, wood floor prep for the floors, leveling of the floors. We can work in all these different spaces at one time. And that's really where you see us layering people up in different zones as this schedule gets built out. So right now you see a wide lens. This is a year's worth of work. This is a very wide lens, okay? What happens is, as we approach, like we're here right now. This is where we actually are. As we move into these other categories, you're gonna see the colors fill in, right? We want people in every single zone, every single day, and it's our job to think through that. Now, an important factor here, it's not just the worker bees in the zones, it's planning. It's planning how to install a door pan. It's planning how to install door jambs. It's planning tile layouts. And this takes work, and that counts as working in these zones. So you may not physically see the work being done, but we always want every zone to be packed with either procurement thoughts and planning, scheduling planning, prep for pre-install, vendor conversations, worker bee conversations, moving people in and out of different zones. So again, it's not always like on the boots running in these zones. It's very much about actively working through all of these categories in every single zone, every single day. So that's wide lens. Now, if we get into a tighter lens, what we're looking at is we would walk into a room and we say, okay, well, I know that we have floating shelves. Well, I'm going to look for the blocking in that wall. I know that the outlets are supposed to be placed in certain places. I'm going to make sure those outlets are exactly where we need to be. I know that we have a powder room that has a floating vanity. Guess what? I need to know the depth of this sink, because it's a countertop and it's integrated into a sink, which means I need to know the sink depth in order to place the P-trap in the right place. That is micro building. That is a conversation I'm having with the plumbers that day to make sure we're doing this one time. And if I don't have the answers that I need, they will say, hey, I need to know the depth of the sink. I need to know the actual pieces and parts. This is our plumbing spec book. These are all the specs that we have for plumbing. We go straight to that room and we say, oh, look, here's the P-trap we're using. Let's figure out our specs. Let's figure out how to install this. So those are the micro moves that happen all day long in these color-coded sections, right? So we're scheduling the electricians, we're scheduling the plumbers, we're scheduling the HVAC. We're checking to make sure the washer and dryer, the electrical for the washer and dryer is in the right place. The HVAC for the dryer is in the right place. The water supply for the washing machine. The doors actually open the way we want them to open in a washer and dryer in that room. We're literally going through that. I just got out of a meeting reviewing all of that. So to wrap all this up, the way we practice, the way we show up every day is wide lens, color zoning a house, placing and planning trades and work in each of these zones. We happen to map this out. This is a 12-month snapshot. Each week we refine every single detail and we build this schedule out. That's wide lens. Now, again, the microscopic view is looking at every single wire, every single outlet, every single pipe, asking questions, making sure people have what they need. If we don't have a dimension, we ask an architect or we ask a designer. We get the information so we can produce results on the daily. That's a very, very active process in building a home. The easy part is to schedule 1 or 2 weeks out. The hard part and the smart way to build is this zoning technique. And that's what we do. So I just want to share a little bit about how we build our homes, and maybe anyone out there who's building homes could take little bits and pieces and parts and you just run with it. Like, you literally can take your pencil out or your pen and color code and draw on your plans and map it out and have fun with it. I mean, that's what I do. That's what our team does. There's nothing fancy or intricate about this, you know. Pen and paper, that's where it's at. It doesn't have to be printed or posted like this, but the idea is to jump in, work through the color codes, work through the trades, make your phone calls, see what's possible, see what's not possible, rework from a different angle, over and over and over and over and over and over, every single day, close those loops. So, have fun.